are really small today. There we go. Hi, folks. Hello. We didn't get ourselves too centered on that, did we? Duh. It's okay. The sign behind us.
It's all right.
It's all right. So you ready?
Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
I wanted to do some more on entitlement.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. 9 types of entitlement.
What?
Yeah. In fact, you're very entitled to. Because your name is entitled right away. As soon as we say your real name. Just because.
Well, why don't I reap any? Well, I do reap some of the benefits. I get ostracized a lot because I'm such a Karen.
Right? Yeah, yes, that's exactly. So I was like, why is that word? Then I looked at some videos too today, some podcasts. They're really
Of what a Karen is, right?
Yeah,
and they're usually screeching. I mean,
well,
just like
the whole thing, yes, but they came from, they call them older, middle-aged white women who feel they're entitled. Because Karen was very popular at the time when these people were born. So you were a popular name, and now that you've gotten to that esteemed estate, they think that you might be entitled, so they've used the name Karen. And I guess from one podcast, I said, like, in the male part is Kevin.
Okay.
So you can,
So what am I entitled to?
Well,
let's go over the 9 types first.
Yes, I found this morning on relationships, and it was quite interesting. The author is Alice Boyd. She has a PhD, and she translates principles from cognitive behavioral therapy and social psychology. Okay, so she's very good. I love this. Just would you want to come on our podcast with Elon? I'll put her picture on the stick too. Examples of entitlement. You, in other words, you expect the same rules that apply to others shouldn't apply to you. That's one. So, you want to jump ahead of everybody because you don't think you have to follow the same steps that everyone else to follow. Okay, that's entitlement. You feel massively put upon if you're asked to do small favors. Now, this is not you at all. Okay, don't, folks, this is not buddy. This is not this one. Soot is Soot. And she's not that Karen. You expect other people to be more interested in you and your agenda. Sometimes we sort of like to hide in the background. Right? Sit back. Because if we
Told you my parents named you wrong. Told you.
If you sit back and observe, assess before you react, it's not us. Because we sit back and assess and react.
As we've stated, I sometimes react before, but I'm trying to do better. But I will admit that I do that.
Yes, okay.
But I usually don't blame people.
And there's one thing that these entitled people is they disregard the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not us.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why we have this book that sits there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have this. I carry it with me when we come here. We follow these rules, so we're just not that. And you, as a Karen, definitely are not that. You freeload. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. 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 No.
I am getting my jalapenos and eggs.
Yeah, that's a donation. That we give them out. That's funny, folks. We have so many jalapenos last year. They're coming out of my ears. And I said, well, I'm going to kosher dill pickle them. This is an aside. You get all kinds of information from our podcast. This one loves jalapenos.
I do. We do.
There's only so many you can eat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
pickle them.
Boy, pickle
them. You can use them in so many different ways.
Oh, kosher. I kosher dill pickle them. And just as an aside, food time. I'm going to fry them up, cook them up with my Italian boar sausage that I'm going to make, and we're going to have it with some rice. That's our dinner. I'm making myself very hungry. Anyway, meanwhile, back to the freeloaders. So we don't freeload. You inconvenience others. No, but these are I love these because she pinpoints people, and you can think of people in your life that fit the bill perfectly. Okay? You think it's okay to upset or offend other people. I don't know if they think it's okay or if let's put it this way, they don't even recognize that they have.
I think
That's probably
I
it.
don't think that they set out to do it, but I think that they just don't have a conscience that, well, they shouldn't be hurting your feelings. I mean, it's true.
And I don't think they even realize it. You cheat in environments that are based on reciprocity. In other words, reciprocity, we wash each other's hands, but you think it's only going to go one way. You don't, you cheat.
Well, yeah, I've been like, oh, well, can you do it for me this time, and I'll get you, and then I never get you.
You never,
I mean,
yeah.
I find ways of getting out of
Do you do that? No.
it. No.
No, you don't do that. No. When working in groups, you want to be the boss or the leader.
No.
No.
Well, there are some I do because the other people act like, I mean, they don't.
Sometimes they fool around.
Well, no, because sometimes you're in a group of people that act like they got no sense, so you do.
You want to slap them upside.
You do need to take over.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I did like to be the foreman of the jury. That was so much.
Well, you get to stand up and say things, and sometimes. Well, look at George Washington. Let's go back to this thing, and he did not want to be president.
Mm-mm.
He didn't want to be president,
Mm-mm.
and
He tried to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. And people actually thought, and they wanted to think that maybe what was going to happen is he would become the next king instead of having a real constitution. He would become royalty in a monarchy. And he did not, he wanted to stay at Mount Vernon. That man wanted to stay at Mount Vernon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He loved Mount Vernon.
All right, so before you go further, to me, when I read these things, or when you read these things and everything, this sounds like a narcissist.
Yes! Wow! Yeah, I never thought of that. Thank you. See, that's why we're together. I was
in a lot of ways, right?
A lot of ways, because they put themselves ahead of everyone.
In all things,
in
right?
all things. In all things. Wow. So we are developing, instead of saying we're developing a whole generation of narcissists.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man, that's scary. I mean, because a lot of the situation that we're in, and your son are in, that's exactly that's caused this whole situation of somebody feeling that, well, I want this, so I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it without looking at the rules and regulations and following. Wow, a narcissist. Yes. It's all about me.
And see, we used to sing this song in church or Sunday school and in junior church and stuff, and it was called Joy. It was Jesus and Others in You. What a wonderful way to spell joy.
Oh, right.
And that is the opposite of a narcissist. So, Jesus first, then others, and then you. And I grew up in a family that put other people first all the time. Sometimes to the point that, maybe they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I'd rather err on that side than be selfish and think only of me. But
that's right.
Because there are times, let's be fair about this. There are times, people, you do need to think of yourself. If you have got the flu or if you're deadly sick, you don't need to be dragging yourself out just because somebody's trying to make you feel guilty to go do something. There are times when you can say no.
Yes.
And not feel bad about it. But there's a lot of times in our life that, we don't want to go that extra mile. We don't want to do that extra for somebody because it's out of our way or it puts us out of our comfort zone. That's, to me, that's not always the good thing. To me, because, helping people and being there for others, to me, I think that's part of why we're here.
And I think that's why we have fun doing this. Mm-hmm. It's just trying to enlighten people and maybe broaden your horizons a little bit, but that's it. You have to be able to, in your family, if something that puts your family on the fence with, you have to say no, you have to back up a little bit because you have to take care of, nurture them too.
Yes.
You know, you have to nurture them. But in terms of helping others, you know, I found I am not pastoral. I I can't, you know, just go to visit somebody
Mhm.
who's sick or something. Although ironically, my husband and I have been doing that recently.
Yeah, but you are the type that would make a meal and send it with somebody else to go do it.
Yeah. So,
Or
yeah,
you would do some you do in the background, you do something else. But
there,
everybody has a gift and a skill. And
that's
that's what
right.
you have to find out what that is.
That's right. And we don't get along very well with narcissists. No, we like knock heads against each other. And because a narcissist and all of these entitled people, they also want to be in control.
Well, yeah.
They want that control,
Mm-hmm.
and they want that. And you know, I don't want to do that necessarily. Sometimes people volunteer me for a position that I get stuck in, and I look at this spouse of mine saying, yeah, thank you. Now you're going to help me. You know, now you are part. So wherever I am, she will be there
So
helping.
that's why, because I was thinking about it the other day. I don't hardly see one without the other. Very rarely. So that's why apparently y'all have gotten each other into. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
No, I learned long ago, do not volunteer my husband to do anything.
Well, he didn't
I
really
mean,
volunteer me. He encouraged me that I would be good at it.
mm,
And yeah, but
mm,
it sort of felt like George Washington.
yeah.
You
You
know,
couldn't say no and all
couldn't
that.
say no. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
because, and here's where I'm going to go on the side because Jesus has a path for you to follow. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. And sometimes you
He does.
just got to follow it. And
And you got, and he plays you to your strengths. And sometimes he pulls you out of your comfort zone, and he
yes,
gets you to do things that you didn't realize you could do.
mhm.
But
And
you
there's
know,
trials and tribulations along the way.
but you know, you there are times when I can make a joyful noise, but I should not be singing in the choir. But does he not want me? He does want me singing
That's
down there.
right.
He does want me singing down there with a congregation.
That's
He
right.
just don't want me up there. So I mean, you know, there are. So he's not telling me not to sing, and he's not saying I can't sing in my car. He's just saying you're not booking a concert, and you know we're
We're not going to sell
having
tickets.
that. So, but you know, Karen, you can go over here, and you know you can help serve when you're having lunch. And you can help. That is fine because you know. But so find your role, but you know.
Yes, I mean, so
But accept your limitations.
yes,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
care how much I pray. I don't think I'll ever get the voice of.
I was just going to say we could pray for your voice.
Listen, that's all right. I'm happy.
I know mine's
I'm
not that
happy
way.
in my car.
I know mine is not that way either, but I do love to sing.
I want to.
If I'm next to somebody who's a really good singer, I can just go right in with them.
I will sing to my heart's content in the car, and I will sing at church because there's 400 other people there. You know,
Doesn't matter.
just it's yeah, and then
Doesn't matter.
I just blend, but yeah,
Yeah. So
but yes.
yeah. Anyway, so we have established that we don't feel like we're entitled, even though your name is. So much for that. Shall we
Like I
change
said, I just go back to the fact they named me
it?
incorrectly.
That's right. And they actually then 5 ways to work on the entitlement tendencies. But you know, and I like
Yeah,
it.
the name Karen, doesn't it mean pure? It's a derivative of Catherine, isn't it? Doesn't it mean like pure and stuff?
Well,
So it
there
must
we
be a
go.
pure narcissist.
And I love this because they're telling you how to work on the entitlement tendencies, and you're just saying a narcissist. I don't think it's help for some of these people. I really don't. I think some of these people, in order to get their attention to understand that they've done something wrong or they're going in the wrong direction, is that you need to do something drastic to get their attention.
Well,
You know?
you
How
do
do you
need to
tell them?
understand it's not all about you.
Yeah, but, and I don't think that happens with some people because I don't think they don't, you have to be willing to do that.
Well, sometimes you need to be forced to do it.
That's
Or
what I'm
you, I
saying.
mean,
You gotta
you
you
gonna
gotta
have
put
to,
your
you know,
feet
you
to the
gotta,
fire. And it's like, it's either this or this.
And sorry, we ain't doing it.
Yeah,
I don't care how much you cry one. I mean, but you should be teaching that your kids that as they grow up. Just because you cry one does
you're
not
not
mean
gonna
I'm weak.
get
And especially if you cry one.
as we know.
I mean, it's
As we
So I mean,
know.
it's there are.
You should have seen the expression in some people's face at the meeting when I said, "Yeah, his mom and I are good friends because we gave our sons charcoal for Christmas," and they went like, "Wow, you." I said, "And then they got the real gifts, but we were making a point," and they were like, "Oh." But you know what? I would not trade our kids for any other of some of these who are not righteous and think they're entitled and honest.
There's a country saying anyway. I don't know if it's all around the world or not, but break them from sucking eggs. You're gonna show people. No, we're gonna stop this mess. We're gonna put a stop.
This
So
is
we're
going to
gonna
be stopped right here and solved right now. Granted, my son was not the angel. He
No
was not
kid
an
is.
angel.
No
No,
kid is.
but
I wasn't an angel.
now he's kind. I mean, he's generous with people that he has um, helped along. I mean, he in his business, instead of charging somebody this percentage of everything they make, he says, okay, just give me rent for that room. You don't, because he wants people to be successful, because when they're successful, then he's successful. And he's had clients say, oh, you don't charge enough. He raised his rates $5. Big deal. That's less than a pack of some cigarettes. But and your son, he can cite those. He goes in and he points them right out. And our experience,
But he will smile while
he's smiling, and
He's
smiling. Yes, smiling while he's doing it, and I had to suck in a breath because he's smiling when somebody's calling him dishonest, and I'm like, whoa. But that is the difference between some of the new generation. What are they? The Z's, X, Y's, I don't know, Q's, R's. I don't know. What generation do we have in here now?
I don't even know what
I don't have it.
I don't even know what I don't even know there's an alphabet left. We might be
we might be in Greek now. We start Roman numerals. Because they just think, well, I did nothing wrong, and you did something wrong, and oh my gosh. So entitlement. So let's say they understand that they're entitled and they want to change that. See, I don't see that.
A zebra is going to change its stripes.
Yeah, see, I don't see that happening. Do you? Because they're entitled.
I think if you have a great enough epiphany.
There's what I like that word. If you have an epiphany.
I think if you have maybe a Damascus Road.
You got a light bulb. Yes. Here's the thing. Maybe if there's a consequence to an action that you have done that's so drastic because of your entitlement, that might be your epiphany.
Because I'm sure you have watched movies and TV shows where there's always a narcissist in a group. There's usually one narcissist. Oh my gosh,
yes, at least
but then
one.
And then they're usually dragging whoever down, especially if you're in a survival situation. But then there comes a point, then they realize that if they don't change, they're gonna die.
They're gonna die. Yeah.
The bad guy's gonna get them. The monster's gonna get them. Something's gonna happen, and sometimes they go ahead and die because they're narcissistic self. And then sometimes they wind up doing the right thing. So I think it is. There is that the crossroads
where they've learned
where you can either go this way or go this way, and some of them go down the wrong way because, hey, like you said, they're not going to change. But then others will go, okay. And I do believe then at that point it becomes I do believe it can be. I'm always one that believes there's hope. I believe people have to have the ability to change.
Where there's a will,
you have to believe that people can, or else it would just be a society of. But
It's really hard to change those stripes in some people.
well, you can't change them.
Mm-mm.
You know, only to me, again, only the good Lord can change somebody. It's going to have to be an event that forces them to look at themselves
And
in the
reevaluate
mirror
what they've
and
done.
reevaluate. They're either going to take that road or they're going to take this road.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know, if something like that does not happen in their life, then no, they're probably going to remain narcissists.
That's a very unhappy, because they will eventually burn everybody out around them.
They will. I mean, I do believe that even they have people come into their lives that will accept them for who they are, and they know how to push back enough to where
Well, sometimes I would think that some of the narcissists or these entitled people will have people who will kowtow to them.
they will count. They will.
Because they are more weak in some of their person, or they're more giving and empathetic. So they just like, oh, I really like so that person's doing a really, really good job. I really, really like them. And yeah, they're really the boss, and just go along with it, and not realize that in the long run, they're using you in some cases, because those narcissists like to have their followers.
Yeah, and you just have to stand up to a narcissist. I mean, and yeah. I mean, it's because they really aren't insecure people. That's where it boils down.
Really, really, they are. That's a hidden type of thing, and that's how they hide it. They do. So there are ways now that there's 5 to work on entitlements. Somehow, when I ran this off, it got a little strange. Oh, that was okay. So you have to think of understanding what 5 ways to work on entitlement tendencies. Okay, practice
Is
perspective.
this if I am a narcissist?
Yeah,
if I am,
think take a recent example of time you got mildly annoyed with someone and spent 3 minutes writing about the situation from the other person's perspective. In other words, they're telling you to think about what the other person feels like.
a true narcissist, and I was it's going to be at some kind of pivotal moment. But no, a narcissist is not even going to see what they did wrong. Not if we had it right now.
Nope. My experience with them, no.
I mean, they're going to be like,
you know what they do? They'll mouth the agreement. They'll give you, what do you call that? They'll accept it, but they won't do it.
Or they'll deflect.
Or change. Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, let's do it this way. And we got involved in that. Well,
or it was they will blame and deflect that.
Yeah.
You can turn it back to you or somehow.
Well, yeah. Example was, well, can we fill in the hours to do stuff? Yeah, great idea. Fill up. We need to, but not every single hour of the whole week do you get to have that room.
Right. You've got to give, and there's give and take.
Let us know what hours you want to use, and we'll set it up that way. But you just filled up every single hour available. And that was, okay. Sensitize yourself to how good it feels to promote other people's success.
These are funny.
Aren't they fun? These are funny because the narcissists don't care. They will say they will, but then they don't follow through. They give you lip service. That's what narcissists are. Okay. So, capitalize on promoting other people's successes and positive effect on the share. My experience with a narcissist is they resent the success of somebody else, that they've done it. They don't like it because it's taken away from their glory.
That's true.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I love it. Use cognitive reconstructing entitlement tendencies. Consider alternative evidence and perspectives. Same rules apply to everyone else should also apply to you.
Now, I can see some of these if you're having a Narcissist Anonymous workshop.
Ooh,
and all these narcissists
there's
are sitting
a group
around.
We should have.
There's a group of narcissists sitting around, and I can see that, going over these things. Now we're going to practice this, but just a narcissist in general, I just can't say, okay, now you need to restructure your thinking. This would have to definitely be, like anger management sessions, they definitely would have to be ordered to go to Narcissist Anonymous.
I like that. I love we're going to start promoting it in today's. Let's have that. That would be fun. That would be our objective. We want to have a Narcissist Anonymous little tidbit for those narcissists out there. Okay, take time today and listen to someone else.
Really put yourself in their place.
Close your eyes and just listen to them and put your shoes on, put your feet in their shoes. That's fun. We should come up with little tips for every narcissist. So today's tip is to listen.
See, you're putting it nicely.
Shut your mouth and just listen. Shut up and listen. Nicely.
So what we can do is we can do the nice side of it and we can do a fun side of it. In other words, what she's trying to say is...
Go ahead. We are going to give you advice. So today for a narcissist, so you're going to listen to somebody. That would be a nice tip. I'm thinking of so many other tips a narcissist could try to do if they want to. Well, maybe they need to understand if they are a narcissist too. Some people don't understand that they are.
No, if you question it, ask us. We'll tell you.
We'll tell you. We will tell you. I can make a list of a few I know right now. Yes. And let me put that. Let me state this. I can make a list. You don't want to be on that list.
Well, and you know, it's just like any other personality trait. We know several. I mean, you can almost name if we looked at a list of personality traits, you could give a list for almost everybody.
That's right, and this entitlement,
you know,
I love it.
You know. So it's So I mean, you know, there's different personality traits and characteristics, and a narcissist is a personality trait. I think, right?
I think so, and I think it comes from whatever happened in their life growing up, and they feel and see. I love it when you made the connection between being entitled and being a narcissist. What really is the difference?
Well, as you were reading it, that's just what came to my mind.
I mean, what really? I mean, they're the ones that want me.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. And then, well, now another one. Catch yourself if you fall into the moral licensing trap.
Okay, explain that.
Yeah, this is so. Moral licensing is a cognitive distortion in which people internally justify things they do that are wrong.
Ah, okay.
So they justify their actions. So it's justify their actions. I have to put these in words I understand. Justify their actions. Sort of like I did when I did that conversation. I justified my action.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I think, like I said, a lot of these to me are in a psychological setting where you're having a group therapy session. But yeah, but maybe, hey, contact us and we will help you through this.
Yes, we will, because, well, for me, I'm old, been around a lot of people, lots of different personalities, and lots of age groups too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you see those, and you see kids all the time that are going to fall into these traps. So that was fun. I think we should start having our Narcissist Anonymous. Say that a few times.
Entitled Anonymous.
Entitled Anonymous. So today, those of you who feel entitled, before you start doing anything, check out the rules. Unless you wear a crown on your head, I don't think you're royalty. Really. You may think you're royalty, but yeah, no, not going to happen.
All right, yeah. So search your soul, and you know, and just look at the different things. You know, do I do for others more than I do for myself? You know, do I blame others? Do I come up with excuses all the time for my behavior, or instead of just saying, "Hey, I'm wrong." You know, that's all you got to do is just say, "Hey, I screwed up. I'm wrong."
I'm wrong. No, well, I thought I was wrong, but I'm not wrong. Is that a narcissistic behavior?
All right. Well, that's it, guys, and we will see you later.